Mark, we spoke on Tuesday night. It was heartbreaking. It was frustrating, annoying, and I could tell that everyone was a little down by that. But I suppose you've got to get over that very, very quickly. And has that been your message to the players after the game and since?
Yeah, it was certainly tough to take, but these things happen in football. Sometimes you can do everything right, and you kind of one lapse in concentration, and we got punished, and that was the case, I thought, in the game against Shrewsbury, and that was my message straight after the game. Listen, we did a lot of good things. I'm not going to try and say to the boys, don't be disappointed, because that's a natural reaction. I had to stress to them that this can't last for long. Yeah, we have to be disappointed, of course we do, and even if it was only one mistake, we have to learn from little things like that. But I wanted us to bounce back quickly. The boys recovered, and then since then the atmosphere around the place, around the training ground, around the ground, in the gym and things like that, it's been really, really positive and really, really bubbly. So I'm really pleased with that, and we've been working hard now towards the game tomorrow.
What were the main positives that you took out of that night against Shrewsbury? What were the main things?
I think it was limiting a team like Shrewsbury, who'd scored, I think, 9 goals in the last 2 games, to very little opportunities. Our defensive structure when we were attacking was really good. I speak a lot about the rest defence and how we need to organise, so that enables us to win that ball back quickly and see off any kind of counter-attacks where we knew they'd be strong. I thought the 2 centre-backs and the role of the midfield players helped with that massively. So from that element of the game, how we recovered the ball and how we dealt with their potential threat, which was really, really apparent in their last 2 games in particular, how we dealt with that was really, really good. The fact that we knew that we could dominate the ball, and we did, was really, really pleasing. It's just now we have to talk about all the time of how I think we created more sustained pressure in Shrewsbury's half, but how we create more clear-cut chances, and that's what we're working towards. That's what we're talking about all the time, and how we can maintain everything else but really create more clear-cut chances for our forward players, but also our midfielders as well.
The club's signed Sully Kaikai, a player in the 3 counties we know a lot about. Just tell me about that signing and how that came about, Mark.
Yeah, we've been looking at Sully for a while. Like I said, we always had targets there, what we wanted to pursue, and he was one of our top targets, what we wanted to try and get over the line. Like any signing, there's always difficulties sometimes, and everything has to come together, so it can't always happen quickly. But we're really, really pleased, and I'm delighted to have him over the line, and I think he'll be a real big addition to the squad. He's already shown in training that attacking impetus and that attacking threat he can pose. So, it's up to us now to get him into our style and create chances for him to be on the ball and show what he can do on the ball. So I'm sure he'll be a great addition to the team.
And obviously, we found out about Warren O'Hara's long-term injury on Tuesday for sure. I mean, we were all suspecting that there might be something wrong with Warren after his injury. What about bringing players in that position? Is that something that the club's focused on now until the end of the transfer window?
Yeah, that's our next focus. Is that centre back position to give us that competition in there. I think it's really important that we stress that it has to be the right player. It has to be the right player to complement our squad and enhance our squad. So, yeah, we're not just going to go out there and get a number. It has to be the right one, and we have to look that he can come and, if needed, fit into our team and the way we play. So, yeah, we're working really, really hard now. The window's coming to an end, but yeah, we've got people in mind and we're speaking to people. So hopefully we can get that over the line shortly.
And obviously, with the transfer window closing next week, there's the possibility that, players from your side might be looked at by other clubs, and there's an opportunity, of course, for some of your players maybe to go out on loan. There's still a lot to happen between now and the close of that transfer window.
I think this is the busiest time for it now as it's coming towards an end. It's a really, really busy time. A lot of things happen. Opportunities come about. Yes, we have had interest from other clubs for our players. Is that something we're going to have to look at? I think it is. And I have to get that right and work with Liam and the staff there to make sure our squad is balanced. We've got a lot of players at the minute, and as I spoke about after the game, some players missed out on the squad. So we have to balance that as regards to what we need short term, what we need now, but also we have to have an eye on what we need long term as well. And sometimes players may need an opportunity to go and play, to develop and be ready for us in the longer term. So yeah, we have had offers from other clubs for our players, but it's up to us that we're in a position now where we can make decisions which will not weaken us, but it'll keep our players ready and up to speed with their game as well. So yeah, we've got a lot to look at in that department. But yeah, there's certainly offers for players.
And just finally, focusing on the game on Saturday, Exeter, what do you make of them this season? They're having a decent enough season, aren't they?
Yeah, there'll be a threat. I think where we've analysed their game and worked a lot this week, looking at where we can exploit and where they can hurt us, like we always do. There'll be certain elements of the game I feel it'll be like the game against Shrewsbury. I think they've got slight differences in the way they're set up, subtle differences which we have to be mindful of. But there's certainly key areas where we feel we can impose our style, particularly being at home, and hopefully we can do that. And like I said earlier, it's just about creating those more clear-cut chances within our game. So we've been working a lot in training this week about that final third play, how we combine and how we make different kind of movements and actually getting into the finishing phase. So hopefully we can take that from the training pitch onto the pitch on Saturday.
And just one final on Jonathan Lecco. We spoke to Jonathan after the game on Tuesday, and a great performance from him. Kind of one of the standout performances I felt, and it was just lovely to hear a player be so positive. I think I asked him a question at the end. Do you think the side's got enough to stay up? Didn't skip a beat. Yeah, and it was almost replying to me like I was stupid, which a lot of people do, which is fair enough. But that positivity and energy from him, and expectation that of course we're going to stay up, of course we're going to push forward. There's a great future.
Yeah, I heard the interview, and I didn't expect anything less from Jonathan or any of our players, because I think they feel now, and I've said about the feeling around the training ground, on the training pitch. We're playing with such an intensity. We're training like the players look like they're enjoying everything we do, and they're bringing everything to the table every day, and that's something which we demand from each other as a playing team, but also as a coaching team and as a group in general. We demand that every day, that we bring everything to the table every day, of every session, of every analysis session, of every gym session, and the boys are doing that. And I think when you get into that rhythm and that mindset of being like that, it creates positivity, and there's a lot of positivity around the place at the minute, and we've just got to keep that going and believe in the process, believe in what we're doing is right, believe in the behaviours we're exhibiting on the pitch, and we'll get there. It'll turn for us, and we're pushing every day to be like that. So I'm not surprised that he was positive. A lot of the players are like that when you speak to them. I'm like that, and it's not just an act, it's because I feel positive. So yeah, it's pleasing.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Mark, we spoke the other day about the Chelsea loan deadline passing. What's the situation with the likes of Louis Barry and Josh Coyote? Are they still firmly part of your plans, or is there still scope to send them back? What's happening there?
Well, like I said, there's offers for different players and stuff like that. We don't know what's going to happen just yet. This is a time of the window when things may happen, and this is a time of the window when things will happen quickly because the deadline's approaching. So although sometimes it's a little bit frustrating for us during the full window, when it gets to this stage and things happen quickly. So there's nothing concrete as yet, but I think there'll probably be a little bit of movement either way before the end of the transfer window.
I mean, with the likes of Coyote, you mentioned a few weeks ago, didn't you, that he's on his way back to fitness. He's a player that Don's fans haven't seen an awful lot of. What have you made of him so far?
I've not. He's a very, very focused and driven young man. I've had a good chat with him when I first come in, like I tried to do with all the players and get to know them. It's difficult, and I also understand that it's difficult for players when they're out injured and they feel a new manager comes in. There's always that apprehension of, oh, I'm not fit and I can't train, I can't impress. Or, we had a good 20-25 minute conversation in the office, and it was really good, and I think that put his mind at ease. He'll be staying with us. He'll be staying with us until the end of the season. He's not going to be going back, so he's going to stay with us. It's just a case now of working through his rehab. He's getting closer all the time. I would probably I'd say maybe towards the end of next week, he might be joining in some elements of the training session, whether that be the initial part of it and just to feel his way back in. So yeah, we're monitoring that all the time. I know what type of player he is. Robbie Stockdale knows him well. He speaks really highly of him because he's seen a lot of him. He's seen more of him than me, apart from the video what I've seen. But we hope he can get back fit, and then again he'll be another feel like a new addition to the squad when he gets back, because I know when he was playing he was really suffering with that injury, and it was really hard for them. So for him to get right now and come back fully fit to show what he can do, he's going to be excited for that. And he's told me that, so let's hope he can get back soon, and it'll be like a new addition for us.
And what's the situation with Ethan Robson and Nathan Holland? You said they were sort of there or thereabouts last week.
I think Ethan's just a little bit ahead of Nathan, because Nathan had a bit of illness, so it's set him back a little bit, but only slightly. Both are not going to be available for this week, but we're hoping that they could be in contention for next week.
Ideal scenario then, is it going to be a nice early bedtime on transfer deadline day, or are we expecting to be up to the late hours?
Well, like I said, we've got one more position to fill, and we're quite clear in that and of what we need to do. We've got varying options, and we need to just, like I said, it's difficult sometimes to get them over the line, but things have to move quickly now. So who knows? I'm in the office till late every night anyway, so it'll be nothing different to me. So I'll be still here like normal.